how do you look at the individual properties of food, right? For example, seed oil is something in our community we say it's really bad. So,
Yeah.
beyond this satiety aspect, do you think these considerations have to be made, or it just fits in when we consider the satiety?
Yeah, I mean, really, if you're prioritizing foods that contain more protein per calorie, more potassium, more calcium per calorie, you automatically getting rid of every food that contains added seed oils that are, you know, hydrogenated and bleached and all the garbage that they do to these oils. You're automatically eliminating every packaged food that contains that as a predominant ingredient. Why are those foods bad? I think they're just incredibly, they're just pure energy with no nutrients, and they've probably got all these chemical things that have been done to them. But I think perhaps people go seed oils are bad and saturated fat, therefore we can eat in unlimited quantities, or carbs are bad and therefore all fat we can eat in unlimited quantities. And whenever people swing to extremes like that, they always get themselves into trouble because someone told them that this is bad and that's really good and I can eat unlimited quantities of that. I just don't think that's a thing. So, you can't demonize seed oils and therefore eat suet and nothing else. I just don't think that's nutritious either.
So it's just devil is in the quantity.
Yeah, essentially. And how much nutrients are you getting from that? And seed oils aren't.
Right.
They're very nutrient poor.
So, Marty, what's the role of the nutritional craving, like the hierarchy, like nutrition, like protein first, then calcium, then potassium?
Yeah.
How does this help in stopping binge eating?
Yeah, I mean, protein is the number one thing we eat. We crave when we eat, and we just need to keep our muscle mass. And then, as you mentioned, calcium is critical for our bones. Osteopenia is really prevalent after sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle due to a lack of protein and actually, being active. Um, Sodium we naturally get enough of quite easily because we've got such a strong appetite for it. So really, very few people are sodium deficient, and food manufacturers know that if they put just the right amount of sodium in food, we'll eat more of it. So nobody's sodium deficient, and most people get enough because they salt to taste. So that's often not a big priority, but potassium balances sodium. Really, potassium's the yin to sodium is yang, and they go together inside and outside the cells in our body. So we need enough potassium, and I think a lot of the blood pressure issues and a lot of the issues are due to not too much sodium, but not enough potassium to balance the sodium in our diet. And sodium is just integral to fresh, natural whole food and is very, very rarely supplemented. You can't fortify foods with potassium, A, because it tastes awful, B, because it messes with blood pressure medications, so we can't supplement it in large amounts. So yeah, we seem to have this subconscious craving for potassium that if we get, or at least when we get foods that can naturally contain more potassium, it's a really big deal in satiety and helps us better predict how much people will eat. So I've basically taken 600,000 days of data and optimized all the different factors to see how do we weight them to align the best possible with how much people actually eat based on their nutritional properties. So I can, based on what you're eating, give you a really good estimate of how much you'll eat better than anybody in the world, I think.
Right.